Once upon a time, in a small village called Amaokwe in eastern Nigeria, there lived three very close friends named Adaugo, Neka, and Obiageli. The three young ladies were commonly known as the gossip mates because they loved to sit under the big Iroko tree and chat about everything that happened in their community. Adaugo was a tall, slim girl with long braided hair, always tied in a colorful wrapper. Neka was short and plump, with a bright, infectious smile. Obiageli was average height, with a birthmark on her left cheek that made her very easy to recognize. Despite their different looks, the three friends were inseparable. They went everywhere together, to the market, to the stream to fetch water, even to farm work. And everywhere they went, they gossiped and giggled about juicy stories involving their neighbors and fellow villagers. One sunny afternoon, the gossip mates were seated under their favorite Iroko tree, guesting as usual. "Did you hear about Chidi and Ogo?" said Adaugo with a mischievous grin. "I saw them holding hands and smiling shyly at each other yesterday behind Chukwu's barn." "No way," gasped Neka, her eyes growing wide. "But I thought Ogo was going to marry Emeka, the son of the wealthy palm oil seller." Obiageli shook her head vigorously. "There must be some misunderstanding. Ogo told me herself that she wasn't interested in Chidi at all. In fact, she said he walks like a duck." The three friends dissolved into raucous laughter, slapping their knees at the insult about poor Chidi's waddling gait. When their giggling finally subsided, Adaugo continued with another rumor. "You won't believe what I heard about Okoro and his two wives." And so it went, with the gossip mates gleefully sharing mostly harmless but occasionally cruel stories about their fellow villagers. Unbeknownst to them, however, someone seemed to always overhear their juicy tales and helped spread the rumors even further afield. Inevitably, some of the gossip began to cause real problems in the once tranquil village of Amaokwe. Ogo's family called off her wedding to Emeka after hearing she was being unfaithful with Chidi. An enraged Okoro nearly divorced both his wives after false stories of their alleged infidelity reached his ears. The atmosphere in the village grew thick with suspicion, hostility, and conflict as friends, turned-on friends and families became divided by ugly rumors and gossip. The village elders eventually called a meeting to try and get to the bottom of the problem. The source of the gossipy stories was traced back to the three young friends who had a troubling habit of idly chatting about other people's private lives. Adaugo, Neka, and Obiageli were summoned before the elders to explain themselves. Looking sheepish and contrite, the gossip mates admitted that they may have been a little too free with their gossiping ways. They promised to guard their tongues more carefully from that day forward. "We deeply regret the problems we have caused with our idle talk," said Adaugo, the apparent ringleader. "We meant no real harm, but we can now see how our gossiping created large rifts and conflict in our beloved village." The elders scolded the three friends sternly, but decided not to punish them too harshly since they were still young and had learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of gossip. From that day forward, Adaugo, Neka, and Obiageli became a changed trio. They still spent plenty of time together, chatting under their favorite Iroko tree. But their topic of conversation shifted to more positive discussions about family, culture, dreams for the future, and daily life. The community of Amaokwe eventually returned to its previous tranquil and harmonious state, with neighbors trusting and respecting each other once again. Many years later, when the former gossip mates were grandmothers themselves, they would recount the cautionary tale to the village children about how their youthful gossiping had nearly torn their beloved community apart. It served as an important moral lesson to the youngsters about the need to be careful with what they say and the impact that gossip and idle talk can have. Whenever they saw youths gathering to gist and chat, the elderly women would smile knowingly and politely discourage them from gossiping. There are so many more positive and uplifting topics to discuss, my children, Obiazeli would say, sagely. Telling stories about your neighbors and spreading gossip may seem harmless at first, but it can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and deep rifts that are difficult to heal. Let's speak of more joyful and life-affirming matters instead.